Love doesn't always happen the way we expect. Sometimes it arrives after the lessons, after the healing, and after you finally learned your worth. Join the Harvins on Partners in Petty, a podcast about finding love at the right time, building a strong partnership, and sharing life with your best friend. Join the Harvins each week for candid conversations, plenty of laughs, and the everyday moments that make a partnership work. Real love, real life, real talk. Partners in Petty. All in. Every day. All about us.
Can you see me?
Shh.
Motherfuckers with an attitude. No papers, no English. Anti-black and rude. You POC, but you wanna be YT. Seat at the table, as an equal you'll never be. Came to this country off the civil rights side. Get your money up, then stab us in the back. You need us, gotta make it make sense. When it comes to the whites, y'all just niggas with accents. Let them know y'all just niggas with accents. Let them know y'all just niggas with accents. Let them know y'all just niggas with accents. Online races chasing clicks and clout. Step outside, bitch, fuck around, find out. Keyboard crackers talk shit, hit sin. Let's make ass whooping great again. Chud talk tough when they said we chimped out. Now we locked up, booty loose, pimped out. Talk cash money shit when you know we ain't around. Pull up on that ass, now it's mute, no sound. Don't catch a 45 cause you're reppin' 47. You can get this wet work, Charlie Kirk, no heaven. Online races chasing clicks and clout. Step outside, bitch, fuck around, find out. Keyboard crackers talk shit, hit sin. Let's make ass whooping great again. On blast. Can't stand niggas, but you want our cash. Can't go to the burbs and set up shop. Can't fuck with niggas, y'all been the ops. Follow us around like we're trying to steal. Put that shit back, then you shoot to kill.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome back. I know you guys are normally, this will be an FTP episode, but since I'm holding down the fort, I have a special guest, and I thought, what a better time to have our first Partners in Petty episode. So joining me, Mrs. Harvin, is my husband, Phil, Mr. Harvin. So let's bring him out now. Hey, baby. So,
Greetings,
hubby,
Maryland.
huh?
Greetings from Elkton, Maryland.
Okay. Well, hubby is on the road. Truck is being serviced. So he's like, you know what? What a better time to mute your mic, babe. What a better time to have our first episode of Partners in Petty while hubby is on the road. So it's like, you know what? We need to get the show on the road. And so I thought this would be a good time. So shout out to everybody that's watching now. We're streaming from my network, but it's also simulcast on the FTP YouTube. So shout out to everybody that's watching. Hey, Light Mocha and everybody out there. So, babe, what we want, let's just talk about what we want the show to actually, be about. Those of you that saw the opening intro there, we just want this show to be, it's not like married life and that's it. We're two people who are married who didn't think we would be married and got married middle age. So that in and of itself, big fun. Two people that didn't think they was gonna get married. We got married. Um, and here we are, but we wanted to be about marriage, about friendship, about love and things that affect the Black community. And just not just it's not just marriage, it's not about being single, not the toxic stuff. We want to talk about everything, but just a fun, I think people in our age group, and I think just people in general, need to see Black love in a different way. We have, you get to see white people have their version, Latinos, Asians, and all that. But when it comes to Black love, it's always the toxicity first. And we don't want to, buy into that. Again, we're going to talk about topics, but we don't want that to be our, our go-to. So having said that, some of the topics I have, they are going to get into that. But I just want to, let you guys know that that's what, we want our show to be about. So, Hubby, what do you have? What do you have to say?
I agree with what you said. I just,
Well, you got to fix your mic, babe.
I just,
Are you not the mic on the phone? Like, do you have the windows down?
no.
Okay, because your sound is bad. Is like the APU running? The APU is running.
It's like feedback.
Yeah, you got feedback. Can you did you log into did you link into the did you press the link? Or you on your phone or you on how are you doing it?
Yeah, I used the link that you sent me.
Can you get the iPad?
I'm back.
Okay. All right, let's see if we can try, because before we could hear you really good. Okay, hubby's gonna go out, and so we can try to hear him. Hey, HHCF. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I want to see. Give me 1 second, you guys. I'm gonna go to a quick commercial, so you guys, so I can get the sound straight. Okay. Hey, J May, give me 1 second, guys.
Knick-knack, paddywhack, Day County, bitches back. I'm raw, uncut, and bitch, I'm black as fuck. Sharpshooter with the truth, you crackers better duck. So cutthroat, wordplay on razor. Stay prepaid, straight talk, no chaser. Get on the mic and I do what I do. Don't like what I say, bitch, fuck you. I am my ancestors, let freedom ring. Honkies pull up, let the chopper sing. Might tell you a joke, but I never tell a lie. Fuck a pussy asshole, 3 or 5 till I die.
Love doesn't always happen the way we expect. Sometimes it arrives after the lessons, after the healing, and after you finally learned your worth. This summer, join the Harvins on Partners in Petty, a podcast about finding love at the right time, building a strong partnership, and sharing life with your best friend. Join the Harvins each week for candid conversations, plenty of laughs, and the everyday moments that make a partnership work. Real love, real life, real talk. Partners in Petty, all in, every day, all about us. Coming summer 2026.
Okay, sorry about that, y'all. Okay, we're bringing him back. I think we got him now. Babe, are you there? Are you there? Okay, there you go.
Yep.
Okay, much better. We can hear you much better now. Okay, all right. So I was asking you, babe, to tell everybody, what that's what I think the show is about. You have anything that you wanted to add?
No, I really, what I don't want people to try to take from this is we are not trying to present uh, we're not trying to present like the social media marriage, if you will, meaning that uh, where it comes off fake, we are real. We have problems, just like everybody else. But what we hope to show from experience is that it doesn't matter the things that you come up against. If y'all are about being on the same team, if y'all are about being on one accord, you can work through things, you can get through things, you can overcome. And what you'll find is that it just deepens your bond. And I think we live in a day and age where everybody's just way too quick to try to throw people away. We treat each other as if we're disposable, and we really have to get away from that. And so I hope if people take anything from this, it's that if you have to determine if your relationship is worth it. Don't listen to the outside voices. You do what you got to do to maintain the thing.
Oh, you went out there, babe. Well, we lost this. All right, he'll check back in, guys. I'm sorry, he's on the road, so we try to make it work. But what I will start out with, and that's right. We're not again the social media couple, and that's different when a person like me, I'm online. I'm a content creator. My husband is not. He didn't sign up for that. There's this content that he wants to get into, but that's not his primary thing. But this is something that we wanted to do together, and he fully supports me in all of my endeavors, especially with social media. But yeah, we're not um that couple. We never wanted to get into it where it starts to feel like, okay, well, it's because I said to him before we started this, I was like, the moment it feels performative, then I don't want any parts of it, because I don't want us to get in that rut where people perceive us as one way. But like he said, we have now I don't necessarily like to say problems,
Well, I mean,
because we
maybe
don't
problems.
but
Maybe
we're
problems is
like,
too strong a word, but it's the point is we have things that we deal with just like everybody else does.
yes,
However, we do recognize that neither one of us is disposable in this relationship, and the relationship is worth it.
exactly.
So the relationship is worth it, and
Exactly.
and there you go.
Yes. So it is worth it, and it is learning, because again, for those of you that are maybe new here and don't necessarily know our story, just the brief part of it, we met online, social media. He saw me and stuff like that. We talked like September 16th. I think 57 to 59 days later, we got married on November 7th. So September 16th, first conversation. I became Mrs. Harvin November 7th.
I really
So
thought you were trolling me, but I'm gonna save that for another time.
so we're married, and it happened very fast, what some people would say. But when you spend your lifetime dealing with the wrong people, it doesn't make sense to waste your time with the right person. But again, we're learning each other, and that's a part of this journey too, and sharing it with people, because you want people who are our age to just say that there's a chance, if that's what you really want. If being single is for you, it's for you. I was okay with being single. I didn't expect him, he didn't expect me. But when you find that person, certain things changes. Your outlook to a degree is going to change. That
Exactly.
doesn't mean everything has to change, but your outlook on stuff really does change. So before we get into it, let's see the
And
chat. So we
before you,
had
but before you go any further, we want this show to be interactive, so we want you guys to chime in. If y'all want to ask a question, you want advice, anything, we want you guys to interact, because that's what this is. It's not just about us; it's about y'all too.
Yes, very true. So we want you guys. to interact with the show. We're going to try to figure out how we're going to do it, if you want to do it live or pre-recorded. But right now, you guys were live, so we want you to fully interact with us. So we got Light Mocha, HHCF, J May, K is my name. Hey, Nikki in chat. Sav walked this. I'm gonna say savvy. This looks very becoming on you, Mrs. Harvin. Hi, Mr. Harvin. And HACF giving a shout out to everybody. K is my name. Is in here. Deshare, let
I
us
just
know
want
if
to
you
say
were
something
able.
while you're doing that, because I watch the FTP podcast too, and I'm gonna throw a shout out to K is my name. I see your name in everything. You are everywhere. You are definitely a soldier, because I see that name everywhere. So big shout out to K is my name. Thank you for the support. Thank you for holding it down for my babe. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kaz, my name. Regina says, good evening, Queen Judge and Phil. Hope all is well with y'all. Hope all is well with you too, Regina. Hey, Clara. Who else we have in here? Jolly Jennings. Wow, well, you know, yes. So yeah, thank you to everybody that is tuning in out there in the chat and on that. We're streaming on, I put it in the chat, stream dot knickknackproduction.com, and we're also on the FTP YouTube for the People Podcast Show and a Knickknack production. So babe, I came across this video is old, but I saw it on another creator. It came up today, and then I went to I always like to go to the original video if I can find it. And lately, and I don't want to say lately, it's just attacked Black women all the way around. And yes, I know there are plenty of women that makes hey Teacup. There are so many accounts. Yes, there are women that make content hating Black men, hating on Black men and stuff like that. But the degree to which it is Black men attacking Black women, all the way to the point, and I have to see if I can cue that other video up, to the point where y'all are jumping into the biphobic conversation, like y'all are going so above and beyond to hate Black women that you're going that route. It just it's too much. It's like everywhere you fucking turn around, if we're not being ridiculed about our weight, it's our tone, it's everything. And then it's because, again, it's one thing to have white people when they do it, it's one thing to have people of color, but when it's your own, it's just enough is enough. And I know being married, some of these things no longer apply to me, but I'm still a Black woman before I was a wife, so it's like it does still apply to me. And to see it, and I think a lot of, and this video that I'm going to play is a Black man who, again, he's one of the ones where a Black woman's education and her degrees means nothing. Her credit score means nothing. Her accomplishments means nothing. You know, if she can't.
Also, he's red pill.
Yeah, if she can't be in the kitchen and listen to every word he says, none of that means nothing. So I'm gonna play the video of as much of it as I can stand, and then we're gonna come back, and I want to get hubby's opinion on it. So let's watch this video right quick. We'll be right back.
What up, fam? I see a meme all the time that says, the more educated a Black woman is, the more intimidating she is to a Black man. Let me finally explain this, and I'm gonna tell the truth. And the truth is gonna be so plain and simple that it's gonna hurt your goddamn feelings. And I'm not gonna be mean, I'm gonna just say it. A Black man can make $100K a year by the sweat of his brow. Loading boxes, mechanic, plumbing, painting. I don't have to go into that. Meaning a Black man can make $100K a year just with a skill that it may only take him a year and a half to get a certificate in, or less, or he can pick that trade up from his father. A Black woman cannot make $100K a year unless she owed the student loan man her fucking ovaries and her fucking life. So you are a fucking liability to us. And men are so simple. We say, look at that chick over there. She's got a house, an advanced degree, and a nice foreign vehicle. That bitch already in debt and will never get out of it. She's a liability. How do you know that man wants to live in your fucking house that you've already got? Because single women, if you don't have a house and a foreign car, you're kind of looked at as a failure in America. Like, you're a single woman, you don't own a home and have a foreign car? What kind of credit score you got? How do you know he wants to help pay or drive that little fuck-ass E-Class Benz you got? Y'all motherfuckers done got out of pocket. Ain't nobody intimidated by you. You gonna pay the student loan man the rest of your fucking life.
Oh, God.
Don't no man wanna come in and take that fucking debt on. Okay? And I'm looking you in your eyes and telling you, don't nobody give a shit about your degree, your house, and your E-Class Benz. You're a walking pool of debt. Not to mention that once you get an education, a house, and an E-Class Benz, you become insufferable. Can't nobody tell you nothing, and you won't listen to a goddamn thing. Ain't no man scared of you. He's scared of that fucking debt you in. Ain't you in debt? Tell the fucking truth. What job can a woman make $100K a year in unless she don't owe the student loan man $150 to $200K? Who you think you fooling? You out here with a social work or a teaching degree, and you still owe the fucking student loan man $100,000. Stop playing with us, saying that dumb shit. You're single because you're a dirtbag bitch and don't.
Well, he
Okay, hold on,
absolutely-
babe. Stop. Time out.
Okay.
Hold on. Flag on the play. Flag on the play. All right. So
Okay.
first, for whoever, brother, whatever your name is, I have to ask, who hurt you? Who hurt you? And why did and why didn't you put your words together to talk to her? Because he's really hurt, but whoever that was,
He says, I'm not, the way he kept fucking, you are absolutely intimidated by a woman with an education. You are absolutely upset by a woman with an education. I need to find, where's the job that you can make $100K unloading boxes? I'd like to know. And why don't you have that job? But I'm going to show you another video of what I think his job might be and why he might be upset. And I want y'all to pay attention to this. And we'll be right back.
Can you cook, clean, fucking shut the fuck up? Can you cook, clean, fucking shut the fuck up? Can you cook, clean, fucking shut the fuck up? Can you cook, clean, fucking shut the fuck up? Your credit score is on $1 million, bank account is on $1 trillion, and you got 10,000 degrees. But will you listen when I'm talking? Will you let me lead? Will you watch your mouth when you speaking to me? It ain't about your credit score. It ain't about the kids you have. It ain't about your pretty face. It ain't about your big old ass. It ain't about your body count. It ain't about your baby dad. But before we get serious.
Okay, yeah, that's enough. Just so you know, that video is from 2025. It has 0 likes and 0 comments on TikTok. I think that's why he might be upset, because his rap career isn't taking off at a smooth 50, because that's what he's giving. Now,
is that what that was?
Exactly. Now, my thing is, you shouldn't be worried about, because when you see where the mic was set up, and if you look directly there, you can see the microwave. So I don't think you should be worried about a woman's degrees. Your problem is square footage. Because how is the fuck is the studio in the kitchen? That's the part that we need to focus on. Is that why you upset? Is that why? Because you don't have a studio? Because the shit is literally in the fucking kitchen. I know you. When Hope said I'm in the kitchen cooking, that ain't what the fuck he meant. But all right.
I think that's where he was going with that, though.
Yeah. So I think he absolutely is hurt and intimidated. And this is a prime example to me of when a man doesn't want a woman that wants him. He wants a woman that needs him. And then the woman that needs you, you can't even provide for, because I don't understand. Well, I do understand. In my opinion, and I want you to chime in a minute, babe. My understanding is that if you feel this way about a woman being educated, the reason why I think black men have such a problem with black women being educated and having money, because money equates to options. Education and knowledge, not just education in terms of a degree, because you don't have to have a college degree to ascertain knowledge. As long as you can read and comprehend, you can read books. Now, does that mean you can go out and possibly get the job without the experience? No, but you can learn all the things. I don't have a degree. I've had to work I'm very smart, but I have an associate's degree. I put myself through night school. I don't have a bachelor's or a master's, but I'm very smart nonetheless. And I've worked my way up throughout when I was in corporate America, I worked my way up. So I think when black women, whether you have a degree or not, the fact that you are educated in any capacity and you have some form of financial freedom, meaning you are not your everyday needs, clothing, food, and shelter are not dependent upon anybody else. Men are intimidated by that because that means you have options. You have the option to not put up with their bullshit. You have the option to not put up with their manipulation. You have the option to be single and still have the things that you have versus being single and not having those things and have to run behind a man like him to get them. You may not have the debt, but you barely have a studio in your fucking kitchen. So you seem to be upset. Like, he is visibly irate. The more he kept talking, the more irate he became.
He was reliving something.
He was reliving the trauma as he was fucking every fucking it was like it got scary because it's just like, what are we doing? So, as a man, as a black man, what did you think about that video? And what are your thoughts on men who think like this? And how do you feel about having a wife that is educated? Even if I don't have the degree, but obviously you know how smart I am, and you know what I'm capable of.
Here's my take on that as a guy. Okay. First of all, what I'm hearing is a guy who has dealt with some trauma, possibly multiple relationships, and they've been toxic because that was toxic as fuck. So he's dealt with some toxic relationships. This last person that he was with, obviously she was successful, or she had some means of success, or someone in his recent relationships had some means of success. She was successful, she was smart, she was educated, she checked all the boxes. All these things that guys like to say that they want. And she had that, but see, here's the thing. Guys say that they want a woman to have, they want her to bring something to the table too. But what they don't realize, and that's not a bad thing to say, but so let's just face it, some women can bring the table. She ain't just got to bring something to the table. She can bring the table and the chairs and all the dishes and everything else. And the question becomes, you as a guy, could you deal with having somebody in your life that's more successful than you? And the answer should be yes, I can deal with that. But some guys really do suffer from male superiority complex, and they have a really hard time balancing or weighing out a woman who has her own success apart from him. And she came ready made. We, like I said, we as guys, we always say we want that woman who has her own. And but for some of us, you want that until you get it. And then when you get it, it's like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, so I can't say I'm the breadwinner. You know, I can't say all these things are ego. So for this guy, his ego was hurt. His ego was hurt because he was obviously with someone who was more successful than him. And because of that, she probably wasn't willing to take any shit off of him because he looks like a lame and he probably came with some bullshit and she wasn't going for it. And she probably left his ass on the curb where she should have left him because he lame. If you guys, when you get into a relationship, y'all in it together. No one part no one part is better than the other. We're a team. So I'm gonna bring what I'm gonna bring. You're gonna bring what you're gonna bring. We're gonna put that together and we're gonna make it work. And if there's something that's missing, we'll get it together. That's how it's supposed to work. But too often, but and my wife will tell you right now, I'll be the first one to admit that I suffer sometimes because I feel like I have to be I got to bring everything. I got to bring hook, line, sinker, all the fish, ocean, everything. And I don't allow myself an opportunity to breathe, and I don't allow my wife an opportunity to contribute because I feel like I got to do everything. And she constantly gets on me, and be like, "Babe, slow down. You're doing fine. We all right." You know what I mean? It's just the guys have to step away from their ego, and he obviously was not ever able to do that. He's still smack dab in the middle of it, and he's suffering for it. And it's a sad thing when you think about it, because that guy's suffering. I mean, we laughing at him and all that, and it's funny, but that guy, he's scarred. He's scarred, and I feel bad for the brother.
It would be, and he's just one of many men that feel that way. And it's like he's older, and you're paving the way for younger men to feel that way. To tell, how can you, as a black man, knowing what education, the threat of education was to us back in slavery, if we could read, you could be killed for knowing
Hmm.
how to read. We were always smart, but to have, they wanted us to not be knowledgeable to the point that it was punishable by death. To know that that is our history, and to then
Most
feel
educated,
like
sorry, babe, most educated demographic in the country,
black women,
black
and
women.
to have such disdain for that. First of all, it is not a black woman's fault that education costs anything. That's Ronald Reagan, because he saw black people going to school and said, "Let's have paid tuition." So the fact that higher education costs hundreds of thousands of dollars, up to hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of dollars, is not our fault. So we're supposed to remain stupid to not have debt. And again, to his point, no one asked you niggas to pick up the fucking tab. Because if you're just because you're married doesn't mean that my student loans becomes your wife's student loans will become yours. That's not how the fuck any of that works. So no one is asking you to pick up the debt. And if it's so easy for these men to get $100,000 doing manual labor or blue collar work, which there is absolutely nothing wrong with, which I think more black men, more people should do it, but definitely more black men, because college is not for everybody, black men and women. College is not for everybody. If that was the case, why don't we see more black plumbers? Why aren't we seeing a spike in black electricians? Why aren't we seeing a spike in these careers that you're speaking of that you can get by the sweat of your fucking brow? Because clearly you don't have one of them jobs. Your job is a fucking rapper where nobody is listening to the bullshit you're talking about. You niggas want a
We're gonna
woman
come back
to
to that.
follow. You want a woman to follow you so bad, but where the fuck are you leading the woman to? Is my question. I have no problem following my husband because I know he's not leading us a fucking straight. I don't have a problem following my husband's lead, but here's the kicker. When there's something that he's not good at, he doesn't have a problem deferring to me, and I don't have a problem deferring to him. That's what a partnership is. You are comfortable deferring to your partner in times when you need it. Now, this is going to
That's
be
right.
super controversial, but this is what my husband wanted, and we talked about this before we got married. He said, I'm the provider. I want to go out and work, and I don't want to have to be. That's what I want to focus on. I'm going to bring my paycheck to you. I didn't ask him to do that. I didn't say, babe, you go out and work and hit. He was like, I'm going. He told me, this is what I'm going to do. I'm working. I'm giving you the money. Pay the bills. And when I need something, you give me what I need. because that way he's on. He said, I can focus on the road and doing what I need to do because I know when I come home, everything that needs to be done is taken care of. Now that's not how everybody marriage want to work. But he has me a part. I'm good at that. I used to do that for my dad. I've done that for myself. That's so that isn't out of the realm for me. We're traditional in that sense, I guess. Most men will look at him like you crazy to make your money and then give everything to your wife. But he has a partner that he can trust to know that the bills are getting paid. So he can focus on being on the road out there and not worried about, oh shit, did this get paid? Did that get paid? Is this okay? Is that okay? He goes out and he does that. And another thing that you said, babe, was you said about a woman being more successful. But this is the thing. What do you measure as success? Because success can mean something like, and he told you, I get on him about it, is I tell him to take out the time because you are successful. You may not be where you again, my husband is starting a career at 52 being a trucker. This is brand new. So he's learning. There's a curve with that. So I have to constantly remind him that you are successful. You're at the learning stage. The first 6 months is the hardest. You are accomplishing that. You are providing for your family to the best of your ability. It is hard out here for every fucking body. It's not like this is an anomaly where you're like you're the only person that shit is hard for finance. No, this is affecting everybody out here. It's hard for everybody. It absolutely is. So you have to stop and think about what is success. Are you defining success by other people's standards? Or are you defining success by I set out to accomplish this? You set out to get your CDL. That was successful. You did that. You are then now working for a company that you like most of the time, but you work for a company. And these are things that didn't happen 6 months ago. All of this has happened within an almost 6 month period. And that's something to celebrate. That is success. I think people need to start defining success in realistic terms and not just what society is telling you success is.
You said something to me that I keep in my mind now. I think we discussed it a few days ago. Um, when sometimes as a guy, but anybody could apply to anybody. But I'm speaking specifically for the guys. I think sometimes, fellas, we need to step back and look at where you came from to measure where you are, so you can see where you are. And like for me, I get frustrated if I don't get the runs that I want, or the week doesn't go that the way that I hope. Like this week has been one breakdown after another, one state after another, and I was getting frustrated, but then I have to remember where I started. You know, where was I 6 months ago? Where was I a year ago? Where was I, 6, 7 years ago? So it's been a journey, and I make progress at every point. But sometimes you can get so caught up in the noise, and you forget to look around and say, "Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I am better than I was yesterday. I am better than I was last month, or 6 months ago." And I think we all sometimes need to stop for a second and just look at where you are and enjoy the small. You don't have to have success. Doesn't have to be measured in money. Success can be measured in peace in your home. It can be measured in peace and intimacy in your relationship. There's different levels. What they say, there's levels to it. But you have to be able to step back away from it. You have to be able to step back from your ego, breathe, and then take an honest accounting of what's going on in your life. It's like my base said, success isn't always measured in money. I don't really have much more than that. It just you did say that, and that you brought me, whether you realize it or not, you brought me through a couple of rough times out here on the road. Just remembering that.
Anytime, baby. I want to read some comments. HACF says, "Oh, he has mommy issues and rejected many times by professional women. Shake my head. He's a predator." Cares my name say, what he's saying doesn't even make any sense. It's her house and her car. So is he jealous? He's awfully
Yes.
pissy. Claire Allen says, "Oh my, you're low vibrational." Teacup says sometimes he's on point, but right now he on some fuck shit right now. Yes. Um, Tico says, "Nigga, just say you want a brokey who is dependent on you. Not everyone comes out of college in debt," which is true. You have women that get grants and scholarships, or again, that depends on the school that you're going to. And again, he made the presumption that as her man, you're going to take on the debt, and that's not how that works, because professional women date men. You trying to say your husband doesn't want that? But chances are that husband also, you act like niggas that make 100,000 a year don't have debt, because they absolutely do. You have just
Mhm.
because you have a just because you don't have a degree doesn't mean you don't have debt. Do you not have a car? That's debt. That's debt. Do you not have credit cards? That's debt. That like none of this makes sense. Do you have a mortgage? That's debt. And he got so infuriated. How you know we want to live in your house, nigga? Nobody invited you in the house. That's Do you have a house? Like what? Like it's a lot of assumptions. It was a lot of presumption with shit going on in there that you think. And this is coming from a woman who was single, that I didn't want a nigga in my house. I didn't want to be married for the simple fact that I didn't want no man in my house. That was a top issue as to why I didn't want to be married, because I didn't want no man. But I met my husband, and that changed, because that never entered. Once we were together, that didn't even enter my mind. Oh my God, I don't want to live with this man, because I had already lived with my dad, and that was enough. I had that was like, that's the only man I ever need to live with in my life. I never need to do. I felt about living with a man the way I felt about having given birth. Once is the fuck enough. I never need to do this shit again, ever. But when I met my husband, that I didn't even think about that. It wasn't even, I didn't even think like, I don't want to live. I don't want to not live with this man. That never occurred to me, because it was the right person. And we did talk about finances and things like that, but it doesn't necessarily mean that what I have, debt, is yours. If you choose to combine it, yes. But the presumption that he's making is like, you're assuming that professional women, are asking this, because if a woman has a home and she has this foreign car, because that seemed to be a sticking point for him. The
Yeah,
bitch he
he
was
was on that one hard.
like he said, an E class. So apparently he gave up a little bit of tea there, because apparently the bitch had an E class. So he the bitch that burnt that stuck a thorn in his motherfucking cap, a feather in his fucking cap, is like, apparently she had an E class. So you're presuming, if a woman is making this money, why would she need you to incur the fucking debt? Like, that alone doesn't make sense. She incurred the debt before she met you. So why would she need you to incur the debt once she has met you? That makes no sense. It would be different if that was your wife and she went to school while y'all are married. Now you have to sit down and have a conversation about that and say, "Hey, if you go to school and you take out these loans, this is how this is going to affect us as a family." But if she got the degree before you, that now again, the payment may have to affect the finances of the family, but chances are, if she's making six figures, then she's already accounted for that, because she's already started to make payments. So again, his whole thing is really like, I just don't understand. I do understand. I'm not gonna keep saying I don't understand. The rationale here is that you don't want an educated woman. You try to downgrade all of our accomplishments because you don't have them, and that's not necessary.
He wants, for some men, money, education, which is information. These are means of control. And if the guy controls the money, he controls the woman. And it just doesn't. Now, ladies, before y'all get in the comments, and because I'm looking at these comments, before y'all start, I'm just, I'm not speaking to me. What I'm saying is that there are guys, there is an element of men that don't, and it ain't restricted to color, that control of the money is control of the relationship. And that's why it's always good for a woman to have her own. And that's why a reasonable man will want a woman to have. That's how you know. Because if I have everything and you're not bringing nothing, how can I know that you in it because you really do like me and you're not just looking for a roof over your head? But if you bring something to the table, then I know that you with me because you want to be with me, not because I'm a meal ticket. But for some guys, they want that. They want you destitute. They want you to have nothing so that they can give you everything. So they can always throw up at you. I made you. I did this for you. You were nothing when I got you. I'm gonna send you what it says. I'm gonna send you back to the streets. They want that, or they want the information so that if they control the information, they can control her mind. So for those of you single women out there, just be aware of who you're dealing with. Always measure it. If a guy's being too free with the money, I know people some women they love a man who showered them with gifts, and then yeah, but you should be aware. Be aware, because you don't want to fall into the trap of relying on somebody else for everything, because that sets you up for having the rug pulled out from under you. And we just don't want that. But more aligned with the point, the control of the money and the control of the information, those are ways that guys try to lord power over women. Some guys prey on women that are destitute and that don't have a lot of knowledge or education. That's why those things are so important.
Well, apparently he is married, so I'm going to read two comments from Tico.
Oh,
He wants
Jesus.
to he wants to break a good strong woman down instead of choosing a pick me. He was a school teacher, but now he's an entrepreneur. The irony is his wife had her own business, home, money, etc. Tico then says he successfully broke her. Now she co-signs his bullshit and tries to convince other black women to get their minds right to be married and happy like she is. Okay, so apparently she was low self-esteem, and he was able to convince her of this bullshit. And this is the thing: a lot of these men are married. Like you, this is the thing. You would think, why don't you go to the pick me? Because they're in your face telling you, hey, we're low vibrational. We don't care about education. We don't wear makeup. We don't wear wigs. We don't do it. We're exactly what you want, right? So you would think they doing everything but throwing their pussy in your face, right? They doing everything except that. They're telling you literally, pick me, choose me. And they never go to the pick me. What they prefer to do is take the woman that they could never get. And once they do, by chance, get that woman, they take pride in breaking that woman down little by little and putting her on the same level as the pick me. So you won't just go and get the pick me. You have to take a woman that is out of your fucking league that would give you a chance. In order for you to get her, you have to pretend that you're somebody else, because chances are you're not coming to these women like this. You're pretending to be something else. Then you get them in a spot. And I've noticed, and I love my father, and we had a complicated relationship. At the end of the day, that's my daddy, and I loved him. But he was like that. He was I have the money, so I have the power situation. Because my mother was educated, and so there was that insecurity there. She loved him to death, but that he was in his head probably like, out of any man she could have, she chose me, an uneducated man from Mississippi, Jim Crow South. You know what I'm saying? He never really got over that. And So that's his thing was the money. That's the I run this and da 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 type. So that always made me hyper independent, especially when it came to men. That made me be like, I have to have my own. I can never be in a position where I can't leave. I have to always have my own stuff because that made me hyper independent with that. And what I noticed was being in relationships prior to being married. I'm the woman that the guy said that they want. But once they realize that I have my nails done, I always keep my hair done, I always look nice, I travel with my friends, I go out, I'll take myself out to eat, I go out with my daughter, I go play, I do things, and I don't ask them for that. They would then be like, "Oh, I can't control her
Mm.
because she has options." Like I can't take clothes away because she came here with that shit. I can't take her apartment away because that's hers. I can't take her car. I can't take anything from her because I didn't give it to her. And so it becomes a thing where I can't I can't take that from you. So now I can't financially abuse you. So then it goes into emotional abuse. Because if
Mhm.
you've ever been in a situation where the relationship can't be transactional, then it becomes emotional abuse.
And I want to throw it. T Cope 67 or T Cope. I've seen these. I've heard these names before watching the show. So hello T Cope, how you doing? But she makes a very good point. She says when you rely on a nigga to feed you, you give him permission to starve you, and that's on every level. If you rely on a man to feed you mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually, if you let him be the one to feed you, if you don't learn how to do it yourself and provide those things for yourself, you give him permission to starve you. You give that person permission to take away from you and make you and torture you until you come to heal. And so you need to T-Cope, you were right on point with that, but you were right on point with that on every level, because everyone needs to know how to provide for themselves mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually. You need to know how to pray on your own. You need to know how to earn your own money. You need to know how to go out and find your own information. You have to know how to do these things. You cannot keep looking to others to do these things for you, because otherwise you always end up an empty shell and you're always looking for a person to fill that emptiness because you don't know how to do it yourself.
Yes, and that's something that we've talked about as well, that you have to, and that's something that I had to do. If I hadn't have went to therapy, if I hadn't have gotten to a place where I was comfortable being by myself, I was comfortable being single, I wouldn't be I wouldn't when my husband came into my life, I would have fucked it up because I wouldn't have been ready. I had to be okay being by myself because, again, look, it comes into play now because he's on the road. If I wasn't comfortable being by myself, I wouldn't be able to be, I have the show, I have things to keep me busy, but I would be going crazy, and then our relationship, we would have issues because I would be like, I don't want to be by myself, but this is a part of you going off. So everything worked out the way that it needed to work out, because that's a part of it. I had to and even before I need to do it for me, because I was a pick me, not in the sense that I have ever disparaged other black women. I don't play that game, but I was an emotional pick me. I was, I would do things because that's just the type of person I am. I'm genuinely like that, where I like to see people happy, and I would, do things for you, or I would be that person, but I would be doing it twofold. One, I genuinely am that person, but two, it's like, choose me. You see, I'm worthy of this to people that were not worthy of me. And I needed to figure out, why am I doing this? So I had to go to therapy, because the only way for me to stop picking the wrong people is to figure out why that's happening in the first place. Once I figured out why, that childhood trauma that unlocked that, then I can stop. then I was able to, I would always want to go places, but I would be like, oh, my friends, I didn't have a lot of friends. Um, but then I was like, I want to go see this movie, but I don't want to go by myself. Or I love comedy, but all these things are coming. And I stopped doing it. Once I started going to therapy, I literally would get dressed, go to the comedy club, have a couple of drinks, have fun, have the show, go right back home. And I would enjoy myself. I started going to the movies by myself. I just started getting up, walking, going to the mall or going to eat or doing things by myself because I needed to do that. I needed to the moment I rid myself of the male gaze is when all the niggas was in my DMs, present company included. Okay. All all the niggas was in, the niggas was in the DMs. Now beforehand, dry. But once I just stopped, like I don't give a fuck about y'all, niggas come out the fucking woodwork. Definitely come out the woodwork when you get married, but they're there. And I think it's important not just for men, not for women to decenter men, but sometimes men need to decenter women, because a lot of you niggas get on here and y'all talk about shit. The way you talk about us, it's just like clearly that nigga feelings is hurt. But I want to try and play another video real quick because I definitely want to get hubby's take
Oh,
on this. Let me read a few more comments. Oh, shout out to Democracy because we just talked about you yesterday because we hadn't heard from you in a while. So we are sorry for the loss of your mom. We hope that you and your family are doing okay. We love
our
you and we
condolences
miss
to
you.
Marcus.
Because we were just talking about you just yesterday. So we hope everything is well with you. We missed you very, very much. Let's see. Missy says also some women that take out loans for school don't have to pay it back. They get forgiveness, yes, so we covered. Tico says Eddie Long had his problems, but one thing he said that I'll never forget is you have to be whole ready. If not, you are just two ticks with no dog. That is, I mean, yeah, you do have to be, I guess how they say, equally yoked. So m- my husband does for me, he does what I need him to do for me, and vice versa. So it's like he's, I liken it to, if you've ever seen the Key and Peele skit where Obama and Luther the anger translator. That's how it is. He's like the Obama, and y'all know I'm Luther. Okay, I'm the anger translator. 9 times out of 10, he has to tell me to stand down. But then he gets very territorial, or
And does.
just as I joke with him about, like he says, the lady at Subway gave him some free cookies, right? So I'm like, oh well, when we go somewhere, I'm gonna get me some free cookies. Oh, excuse me, huh? What you mean? Oh, so it
I
doesn't
can't
go
believe you
both ways?
told that. I can't believe you told that.
Yes, cause the lady at Subway ain't gonna give you free cookies for nothing. That bitch don't give free desserts, and gave him the extra large drink too, the reusable cup large drink. They don't do that shit for nothing. I don't give a fuck. And it wasn't
Oh
just two
my
free
god.
cookies. It was a bunch of free cookies. It was a whole bag full of free fucking cookies. I don't give a goddamn. Bitch ain't giving you free cookies unless she want to give you her cookies. That's just the truth. I don't care what nobody say. She gave you didn't, you took the cookies, you didn't take her fucking
I'm
cookies.
I- I'm
But
I'm hell no.
exactly, but I'm just saying, she gave you them cookies hoping you was gonna take her fucking cookies.
I was very friendly, and that's why I got the cookie.
Yeah, I know how friendly you be getting. Mr. fucking Southern hospitality over here.
Exactly. There you go. I don't think anybody in the comments is buying it, but
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. Hold on. I'm trying to I want to show this last video before we get up out of here. I'm trying to see if I can add it really quickly. I'm waiting on that to load. All right, babe. While I wait on this to load, give the people Tell them a story about
Any
me.
man that's attracted to the average BOK.
Hold on here.
Okay.
Okay, hold
Oh,
on.
you.
Let's do this.
No, no, no. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm trying to think of something I can tell that's funny.
Chico say, Nikki, you finna go beat that lady ass.
Oh man.
Now, one thing about my
No, no. Okay, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. No, the person who's behind she wants to be. I was married once before, and for whatever reason, I,
for whatever reason, you know the
she,
reason.
she she wants to be. She has a blood feud against my first wife, who I don't even talk to. So, yeah, but
No, no, no.
apparently it's on
Okay,
site, and I get worried about that.
no, it is on site because the only reason, listen, not he, she's lucky. I don't know where the fuck she live at, but it's reasons I can't go in, I can't go into it. But trust and believe, it's an on site cussing out. Now, if that leads to an altercation, it is what the fuck it's gonna be. That's all I gotta
It,
say. That's
yeah,
all I gotta say. If it, I will give her. Y'all know how I do. I will give her a verbal lashing.
it will
Okay.
never get to that.
But now, if after that, if it gets physical, it is what the fuck it's gonna be. That's all I gotta say. But either way, it's a cuss out on fucking site. Okay, I'm cussing Cookie Lion the fuck out. Okay, that's how the fuck this on. And yes, I call her Cookie Lion because she's obsessed with Cookie from Empire.
Yeah, she is.
And there's not a Snapchat filter that is safe from her face. A Snapchat filter hate to see that bitch coming. That's all I'm gonna say. That is all I'm gonna say. A Snapchat filter hates to see that bitch coming because I don't even think she remembers what the fuck her face looked like at this point. But okay, I digress. But yeah, Cookie. Her name ain't really Cookie. I know her real name, but yeah, bitch, if you see this video, because when she followed me, I blocked her. Maybe I'll unblock her and post this fucking clip. But yeah, bitch, if I ever fucking see you around North Carolina, you know what the fuck is up. So just that's how we gonna
My
go.
my wife. Yeah, I can't wait to get you in the truck. You're gonna be interested in some of these truck stops.
Yeah, he trying to get me in the truck so I don't whoop her ass, but never the fucking less. If we in the truck, you're gonna have to pull the truck over because if I see that bitch, I'm telling you right the fuck now what's gonna happen. Long as you know. Let
You
me.
won't be able to recognize it because all her pictures are with Snapchat filters.
Oh well, that's right. Yeah, goddamn, you got me there. All right, so I want to play this video, babe, real quick, and I want to get your thoughts on it.
Any
Okay.
man that's attracted to the average BOK woman is borderline rainbow. What do you find feminine about
Wait a
a
minute. What?
strong, independent woman that weighs more than you who cosplays a drag queen? She don't even like being her natural self. Like, what are you into in there? Everything that I just named is everything but fucking
It's
feminine,
buffering,
man.
baby.
If anything,
No, it's
at
okay
best,
here.
it's
Can you
pseudo
see?
feminine. If anything, is pseudo femininity. It's the fakest form of femininity ever. They're not even tapped into their natural selves where they can exemplify who they were naturally born to be. This is insane, man. This is so outside of nature, and we have normalized it. But I'm the crazy one.
Oh man. Okay.
Did you hear it all, babe?
Yeah. I just finished it. Okay. So here's what I'm gonna say, and some guys are not gonna like what I'm about to say. So if you are upset about, and I'm speaking to men as a group, if we are so upset about women being masculine or aggressive or what have you, then
Oh wait, you went out, babe. All right, hold up. We're gonna get hubby. We're gonna get hubby back. Wait for him to come back. In the meantime, let me Tico says, please, lot lizards, save your own life. I'm gonna ask him. I can't remember if he had an interaction with one that tried to approach him. I gotta see, but he has some interesting stories about that so far. Okay, as my name says, they're talking about their mothers, they're not the exception. Exactly. Okay, he's back
Oh,
now.
okay. So I'm
All
back.
right.
So if you don't if you don't want your women to be so aggressive, so masculine, so whatever, then you have to put them in a position where they can set that down, and they don't have to be the man and the woman, and they can get into their feminine energy. Because if you don't ever if they don't ever feel safe, if they don't ever feel secure, if they don't ever feel heard, if they don't ever feel appreciated, if they don't ever feel taken care of, and that's not saying that she can't do for herself, but that she knows that everything is going to be all right on the different levels. If you don't make her feel that, she don't never step out of that. She doesn't step out of that masculine energy that she needs to deal with the world on a daily basis. I'm sorry. So if you put her in position where she can step into her feminine energy, then you get to see and enjoy that. But if you don't ever put her in position, don't get on a woman that's out there fighting the world the same way that you do, because she don't have nobody there to help her take that armor off. And that's just the truth about it. That I mean that I
Ex-
mean I'm sorry. I really feel some story because my mother was single, and I met plenty of men that said that my mother was mean. No, my mother didn't have a man that she could rely on in her life. And so she had to have her armor on when she was dealing with the world. You know what I mean? So it's just like you got to give them. It's just like guys will say, well, she talks too much, or she won't, she don't listen. Give her a woman has zero reason to follow you if you don't give her a reason to. Simply, I'm not. Well, we're not on YouTube. I'm gonna get just because you got some swing between your legs. It's not the reason for her to follow you. Plain and simple. You don't get it simply from being a guy. You have to give her something to follow. And I'm sorry, in some relationships, sometimes guys, sometimes you might have to walk beside her for a little bit instead of walking in front of her, because maybe she need to hold your hand until you can stand on your own too and walk in front and protect and provide the way that you say that you want to.
I think, well, obviously, I think a lot of this does stem from the mother issues, because I think
Yep.
they have issues with their mother, and instead of them going to that lady couch and figuring it the fuck out,
There
they're
what?
taking it out. What? Going to that lady
There.
couch and sitting on the couch and figuring it the fuck out. They taking it out on black women as a whole, and it's like you're upset at the women that stayed and took care of you. Like for me, this is how it was for me. I, as a black woman, have to be aggressive. I'm seen as aggressive. I have to take care of everything in my life. I have to be on when it comes to working in corporate America, making sure I have a roof over my. I have to do all of these things in my life as a black woman. I'm always having to navigate the world as being against me because I'm a black woman. So if I got to go through all this shit, the last place I want to have to be in charge, I should say, I don't want to say aggressive. The last place that I want to have to be in charge is my relationship, because that's the one place that I feel like I don't want to be dominant was the word I was looking for. If I have to be dominant in my career, I have to be dominant throughout life to navigate life as a black woman, because that's how they see me any fucking way. I can't afford to be this little dainty. I have to take control of certain shit. That's just the way of the fucking world, especially being a single mother. I have to protect my child. I have to go out and work in the world. I have to do all of these things as a single woman, single mother, not by choice, but that's what it was, and that's what the fuck it was gonna be. And I took control of that because that's what mothers do. We don't get to say, oh, well, this nigga decided he didn't want no parts of it. So I just gotta, whatever. We gotta get on the fucking job and stay on the fucking job. We don't get the luxury of clocking the fuck out of this shit. So if I have to be dominant in every other aspect of my life, the last place I want to be dominant, quote unquote masculine, is in my relationship. And until I got married, I was never afforded that opportunity. You niggas talk about femininity, but you don't give a woman space for it. You want a woman to be feminine while still doing masculine shit. You want a woman to go 50-50. Okay, she can't be 100% in her feminine fucking energy and she's doing everything. Now, with our marriage, I'm not working right now. That's not to say that I'm still looking, and once I find a job, our dynamic is going to change because right now I'm home and my husband is on the road. When he comes home, I can have dinner ready. The house can be clean and all of those because I'm home. By him working, I have the opportunity while I'm still looking for work to work on my content. He's allowing me to be in my complete feminine energy and work on my content and do the things that I have to do. And I'm not, overly stressed. We're still, hey, we got things that have to get done, but that allows me that opportunity. And not just from a financial perspective. My husband knows when I'm just not with the shits. Like if something is wrong, he can tell. I get quiet. He can tell my
That's the
different
first
modes.
sign.
He can tell my different modes of quiet. I have quiet like I'm concentrating. I have quiet like he done fucked up quiet, or something is happening with me quiet and I don't know what it's like. I have
Or
variations of
or the
quiet.
or the dreaded or the dreaded. It's okay.
Well, sometimes it is okay, but I mean,
No,
okay, I guess I.
yeah, yeah. You're right.
When do I say that? Okay, yeah, it's times when I
Yeah,
say that. So
right before you get really quiet.
okay, well, so he pays enough attention to me to know those are the signs. Like, okay, like something is amiss here, and I know it with him. The inflection in his voice, or how I'll ask, and he'll say I'm okay. But sometimes with him, I gotta wait for him to tell me. He's not gonna tell me just like right away. I know it may not necessarily be me, but he has like things going on. We can tell that about each other, but it's certain things that he does that I like, and he knows that I like, and he knows that I need it, and it puts me in my soft, feminine. I'm allowed to have that energy with him. I'm allowed to exude that because he provides an environment, not just and from a financial perspective, but emotionally and mentally. Our home is literally our place of peace. That's one
Like,
thing. I know he tells me, I want you to get up and go out and stuff. And I'm always home working on stuff. And when he's home, it's like, oh, we need to go somewhere, whatever. And I'm like, I want to just lay in the bed. I just want to lay on the couch. I want to binge watch. I want to cook us something to eat. We just like generally like being around each other. And I
or you
don't
just want
need
me to make French toast.
I do want you to make French toast and rub my feet. Like, is it a crime? And and he does that because I do things that I know he likes. We make our home a place of peace for one another. So he can be in his masculine bag and I can be in my feminine bag over here, but we make it a place to allow that. These niggas out here, they want submission and subservience, the definition of it. They want you to just do as I say, do what I tell you, and that's it. It was just
What
like,
they want is servitude.
yes, they want servitude and they want subservience, but that doesn't sound good. Submission sounds better rolling off the fucking tongue, which is why they say that. But you can't, you hate masculine women, but you put women in a position of being masculine. You don't like masculine women, stop making them single mothers. If you don't want them to be single mothers, stop fucking them without a condom. Because it take two to tango in this bitch. Okay? Unless it's artificial insemination, unless you marry fucking Magdalene, a dick has to be involved. Okay? A dick is involved. And if you don't want it to be your dick, then don't fuck or wear a condom. Those are the choices. Y'all tell women to choose better, but in reality, you get upset when the woman doesn't choose you. You want women to choose better, but you don't prepare yourselves for when she doesn't choose you. You sit here, it was one guy that said, I hate to see women on their Instagram when they spending money and they going places and all that. What makes y'all think that's attractive? Why wouldn't it be attractive? What's fucking attractive? An Instagram page where she sitting at home all fucking day because you can't go? But because you're not out there with your boys, you're not taking trips and you're not doing what about that is y'all really want women when you say you want single to be a curse so bad. And it's not. And this is coming from a married woman. That if I wasn't married, I'd be happily single. If I was not married, I wasn't a bitter single person. Once I got out, like I said, the male gaze, done with that. I was cool with it. And I still advocate for women who are single and are happy being single to remain single. I'm not the married bitch that's gonna be out here telling you, well, you gotta get married because if you're not married, then you missing. I'm not gonna do that. For what? Because there are women and there are men that are happy not being married. That's not their ministry. Maybe one day it will be like it was with me. Maybe it won't. I advocate for you to live the life that you want to live. But I am so tired of black women being the fucking brunt of the shit that y'all got going on with y'all mamas. Because that's what it is. You talk about black women as though you don't come from one. How the fuck did you think you get her the stork, nigga? Did you think a bird dropped you the fuck off at a bitch doorstep? Like, how the fuck did you think you came into the world if it wasn't from a black woman? All the shit y'all say y'all hate about black women, I guarantee. You know what they should start doing? You niggas that get on here with these red pill podcasts and you start talking about black women, don't say shit unless we see a picture of your fucking mama. And the bitch better have on a wedding ring. I want to see your fucking mama. That bitch better have hair, natural hair down to her fucking ass. She better have a fucking wedding ring on. She better be 24. What is it? 24, 38? What the fuck is the measurements? The Coke bottle. She better have all that shit. Because the way y'all talk about it, that's how it should be. You're on mute, babe. It's on mute now, but take it off.
How about now?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so part of what's the problem is we have and have had for some time in the black community uh, a very insidious poison coming through in our music and in these red pill podcasts and in people like Andrew Tate and stuff like that. This toxic masculinity where men routinely break down women and devalue them. Whereas before we used to lift them up. And we used to, as in the black community, the women would celebrate the men would celebrate the women. And it was okay it was okay to love openly and freely. And men would represent their women would represent their men. It was okay. And somewhere it changed. And now women are thoughts and men are deadbeats or broke ass niggas, or you know what I mean? We don't celebrate each other. We tear each other down. And so it's hard for black men to relate to the women And it's hard for women to relate to the men because we automatically we're coming towards each other from bad positions to start with, and we don't take the time to understand what's going on. We can't empathize with each other. We can't take a moment to see what's going on with the other person, and quite frankly, we don't care to. So I mean, we in order for us to address the things in the relationship, one, it has to start in the home. Parents need to love openly and freely in front of their children, so that the children can then see what real love looks like. And even when there are disagreements, just like children can see the parents argue, children need to also see the parents reconcile, so that there's a connection there. It's not like, oh, mommy and daddy argue. Well, mommy and daddy made up too. Daddy said sorry to mommy. Mommy said sorry to daddy. You know what I'm saying? And let them show show accountability in relationships too. That's the thing, is we don't have any accountability to each other. Nobody wants to be accountable to their partner. And that's, as a man, sometimes that's difficult because you want to be able to say, you know, I got my shit together. No guy wants to say, you know, uh, hey, look, I made a mistake, or hey, look, I fucked up today, or hey, look, I did it. I think, not without going into any detail, uh, I think the most difficult thing so far in our relationship that I've ever had to do was have to go to my wife and say that I'm sorry for something. And because you want to think in your head that you got your shit together. And then when you're slapped in the face with reality that you don't, that you thought you was here and Negro you down here with everybody else, you know, you have to take a moment, breathe, and you have to take stock and say, okay, now how do I become better? And that's the thing. Men don't want to be accountable to anyone but themselves. What's that dumbass saying? People say no one can judge me but God. Nigga, yeah, people can judge you right here on earth. They quite capable of doing so. So don't think that God is not, he is not coming down on the lightning rod to judge you today. Somebody down here gonna do that if you fuck it up. And when you're in a relationship, you are accountable to your partner. Full stop. And if you can't bring yourself to humble yourself as a man, the greatest thing that you can do is to be able to humble yourself to your partner and be able to say, I'm sorry, or be able to say, hey, look, I don't know, or be able to say, I can't and I need help. You have to be, as a man, you have to have the ability to be humble towards your partner and with your partner. Plain and simple. Love you, baby.
I love you too. And there you have it. Coco Paul says, "Now this is a real man. You picked good, Nikki." Yes, I did. I am very fortunate, and we talk about a lot of things that we're gonna talk about on the show. But that's one thing that we pride ourselves on, is that we see so many people that are either in relationship, committed relationships, or married, and they don't like each other, and they're not happy with each other. And that's one thing that we said, like you said, we're not perfect people. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we haven't had, disagreements. I don't think, like you said, we have problems, but we have real world things that we're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Money and having to navigate this fucking economy the way that it is, and having only one person in the household that's working. Like, there are real world shit things that we have to deal with in our relationship. But we know, like, we don't wake up every day and say we have to fight for we don't wake up every day having to fight for this relationship. Like some
No.
people, we don't do that because it's just like we genuinely like each other. We genuinely like being around each other. We don't just love each other. We're not just in love with each other, but we like being around. Like we have, well, I think, what did you call it, babe? Comfortable intimacy? Is that what you called it? I
Yes.
think, yeah, you said we have, like, so explain that real quick. That'll be our last thing before we go. What is comfortable
People,
intimacy to you?
okay, people define intimacy too often as the actual act of intimacy, meaning the bedroom. But intimacy is also those other moments. Intimacy is the quiet moment when, like foot rubs. The foot rubs that you were really in love with and that are now required when I come home. and I love doing it. So, uh, or even cooking a meal for each other, or with each other. If you're doing it together, that's intimacy. Sitting on the couch watching TV together, that's intimacy. Sometimes it can just be as simple as a hug, unannounced, for nothing, or holding a hand, rubbing a leg. There's different ways to be intimate, and it none of them have to necessarily lead to sex. Sex is its own. Sex should really be put in a different bucket. Intimacy makes everything else better. It is more important to be intimate with your partner than it is to have sex. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that sex is not important. I don't want nobody to say that. I don't want nobody to think I'm saying that, because I'm definitely not saying that. But I'm saying that it's equal. It has equal importance to be intimate, because one without the other is just, there's an emptiness there. And if you don't have that, if you can't have that in your relationship, you will find it somewhere else.
I I agree. I think I told you what time I was doing my first research paper in high school, and I did it on, it was called sex changing by the decade. So I chronicled sex from the 50s through the 90s at that time, and what it meant for different eras, how it went from, in terms of women, how it started as 50s was just for procreation. It wasn't about women being pleasure. Then you had the 60s and 70s, it was free love. 80s is when you kind of got into, like, you had the AIDS epidemic. And then 90s, it started to come more of back towards, free love or what have you. But while I was doing that research, I came across a quote, and I don't remember the person that said it, but the quote stood out to me, and it said, women use sex to get intimacy, and men use intimacy to get sex. And I never forgot that. And up until meeting my husband, and subsequently getting married, that's really what it was in life. But now those two things are separate. Again, like you said, don't sex life. Listen, y'all see the videos. I'm insatiable. You already see the videos, right? The video
I'm
that we
not
had,
even
not the
responding to that.
wait, not the videos, but the video, the joke that I had with us in the doctor's office. So you already know, right? Um, but our intimacy is I am really like that. But the intimacy that we have is very refreshing, because it is like we're sitting on the couch, and I just put my feet on him, and he already knows what to do. Or if he starts to, like, drift off, and it's like I gotta jerk him to be like, no, keep going. Or when I say, I'm in the bed and I turn over and I'm like, I want my rubs, because it it helps me go to sleep. But the gag is that him rubbing me is so relaxing to him that it makes him go to sleep. So I end up getting cheated all the time with my rubs. But when he
You
wants
don't
his
get
rubs,
cheated
I'm
all
fully
the
awake.
time.
But whatever. Um, I don't get cheated all the time. I have to get him as soon as you, like, basically come in the house or something, so that when you up, that's when I gotta get him in. But either way, we just have such, like, that intimacy is really important, that it extends outside of having sex. Does that intimacy lead to sex? Absolutely. But it's important to be in a relationship with a person you like, whether it's committed, married, dating. You should be with somebody that you actually like and they like you in return. That's important. Not just one-sided, not just you like them, but they like you in return. That is very important. And this is something that we want people to see, like affection or how we can laugh together and talk. And we don't always agree. Most of the time, we do. Or it could be something as simple as it's this game he played. Don't ask me about it. I don't know. He likes medieval shit. I don't know, right? But we could be sitting at the table and he's watching it while we eating breakfast or we having dinner or we sitting on the couch. But that's his thing. And I'm sitting right there on the couch. Don't understand nothing that's going on. But I got my phone out and I'm doing something. But that's our time. That's our time together. Or he'd be like, okay, but let's go in the room. We'll watch a movie. And I'm laying down and he's laying on, somewhere on me or whatever position. I'm the human pillow. Things like that. It's simple little things like that that show that you like your partner. You actually like the person you're with. Because so many times I see online, I see what men, and it's some women, but most of the time it's men. And I hate when it's black men that they just hate their fucking wives. You see it with white people, but again, this is about black shit right here. So that's what my focus is. But I hate to see it that they just don't like who they're with, or you just got with somebody because it's a version of your mother you can fuck. Which I think that's the episode that we'll talk about for another day, because I definitely want to circle back on that. But I want to go back to the comments because what did Coco say? That's why Kaz my name said that's why a couple should be friends. That's what they're supposed to be. The person that you confide in. Which again, and hubby, you always say this, is that it was a good thing that we started out being long distance, because we literally got married. This is the story, right? We got married November 7th. I came back home to Miami November 10th. I know I came back to Miami um the fall we got married the 7th. I got back home on the 8th. I think the next day no, the 9th. Monday the 10th I went to work and was laid off. So I got married, had a honeymoon in 2 days and got laid off, right? Okay. Didn't get to North Carolina, so we didn't move in together and was like, actually married in the same place until January. So we had 2 months courtship, married, 2 months married, but not together. So not being in the same place and like not having an immediate sexual relationship, I think that helped also, because we would talk for hours. We would be FaceTime like every day. Like he would find a reason to cause okay, I ain't gonna bother you. I'm gonna call you. I'll call you right back. Oh no, I'll call. Wait,
and then call
he'd be
right
like,
back.
I'll call you later, right? So I'm hanging up the phone, thinking, okay, I can go do some stuff now. 5 minutes later, the phone is ringing. No complaints, but 5 minutes later, the phone is ringing again, and that's another couple of hours. So
And I lead off with what you doing.
Nigga, I just finished talking to you. Coco Post says, Mr. Phil, you're in the wrong profession. We need more of this talk from a guy's perspective. And babe, that's why this show is important. And I've told him that Uncensored, he was doing content for a little bit. I think he's gonna, reboot Uncensored, because the people, do want to hear from you. But definitely this is why, this show is important, because, my husband's a very smart man. He reads a lot of books. He reads a lot. And I think he just has like a fresh perspective, on things, having been, a man out there in the streets, reformed, still the mayor of Fayetteville, but I call him the mayor.
I'm a retired mayor.
You a retired
I don't press the
mayor?
flesh. I'm a retired mayor. I don't press the flesh anymore.
You don't press the flesh, but you're still getting free cookies. But okay, it's fine. Oh, I'm gonna stay on you about them fucking cookies. I'm gonna stay on you about them cookies because I don't care. A bitch ain't giving you a bag full of Subway cookies. You know how expensive Subway cookies are in this
Hmm.
economy, and she just gave you a whole bag full. Okay, that's fine.
I'm a nice person.
Kaz, my name say games like Kingdom Come Deliverance. I see that game a lot. What is the name of the game you play, babe?
Oh, Watcher of Realms. It's a
Yes,
gotcha
this is
game.
the type. Yeah, this is the type of stuff that he loves, like not I was gonna say sorcery. He likes like the medieval. Obviously, we watch Game of Thrones and the what is it, House of Dragon. But he likes what is some of the stuff you watch on Amazon? It was that weird show. But what do you
Oh, the
watch?
Lord of not Lord of the Rings, but the Wheel of Time,
The Wheel of
which is based
Time.
which
He
is based on a book. I read all the books, so
yes
I
he
was
he yes. So
watching
he's
it
read
because
all
I
those.
read all the books.
Yes, he's read all the books. He's read what was it, Fire and Ice, the Game of Thrones book. He's read that. Did
Yeah,
you read
Fire
Harry?
and
You didn't
Blood.
read
I read that too.
Fire and Blood. You didn't read Harry Potter.
No,
No, but we're gonna watch.
I'm
I
I'm
have
not
never read the books.
I'm not gonna. I used to talk trash about Harry Potter, but I'm watching it with you, so I'm a reserve judgment.
Yeah, so then this is the thing. I've never read the books, but I love the movies. The movies are just I don't know what it is about it, but it's like my I can put it on back. It's like my comfort. I don't know what about fucking Harry Potter is comfort to me, but it
I,
is.
I'm
Oh,
looking in
but
the
guess
comments. Thank you, Missy. Thank you, Missy. Yes, and those cookies are good too. Thank you.
okay. Oh. Speaking of which, we're currently we're about to get out of here, but we are currently binging Once Upon a Time. So y'all ever seen the memes where the husband is not he don't want to he act like he don't want to watch the show, but he be lingering around to see what's going on with the show? Well, that's this right here because I've seen it before, so I'm rewatching it. But he started kind of, lingering in there, and now he is hooked. No pun intended.
Yeah, it is. It's
So
actually a good show.
yes. So I think together we might end up watching season 7 for the first time because I've never watched season 7 because I like to pretend it didn't happen. But we may watch season 7. So if there are any Once Upon a Time fans out there, hubby and I are doing a rewatch. We're getting to the end of season 3 and we're about to go into season 4. So we're about to enter the Elsa era of Once Upon a Time. So it's been fun watching it with him and seeing him like his face with all the different twists. Even though I tell him about some stuff, just seeing his face with the twists and turns and being a guy like he's literally like a man. He's like, how did I get here? But I'm invested. So he is now invested in Once Upon a Time. I have him invested in my fantasy type shows. Um, he's invested in, and to score extra points with the ladies out there, he did watch the first Devil's Wears Prada. We haven't watched the second one, but he did watch the first one, and he was actually, intrigued. You hung in there, and he thought the boyfriend was an asshole.
He was. Mm.
So, you know, and of course we love our Marvel movies, so we are geared up for Doom. He's a comic book nerd. Hubby knows pretty much all the stories of these comic books, so we're gonna try and get him back into comics, but he is a comic book nerd. So pretty much
All the way.
every type all the way, every type of character, he knows some lore about every whether it's Marvel or DC, he knows some form of lore. So I really hit the jackpot. I got me a comic book nerd, a fantasy nerd. Um, so yeah, I really hit the jackpot there.
Big
So
shout out to Blue Marvel, one of the greatest black superheroes no one's ever heard of.
see,
Yeah.
this is the stuff that he knows. I've never even heard of that, but this is some stuff that we'll probably talk about on the show as well. So I just want to thank you guys for tuning in to our first episode of Partners in Petty. And I want to thank you guys. Remember, Court of No Appeals is tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific and 7 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you are joining me on my network, stream.knickknackproduction.com, and on YouTube at a Knickknack Production. It will not be on the FTP YouTube. So make sure you are seeing me here on a Knickknack Production and stream.knickknackproduction.com. Shout out to my producer, Jason.
Hey, Jason.
For for always making sure everything on the back end is right. I'm gonna share the store with you guys real quick so you can see the store here. We have our Partners in Petty merch. So if you guys, everything is, I have to go back. Everything is going to be 50% off. I have to go back and reset the sale. But yeah, we have a lot of good merch there. Shirts, cups, got your whiskey glass, coasters, all that fun stuff. So if you want to support us and support the show, get your Partners in Petty merch.
I
Everything will be
recommend
50%.
that
With
everybody get a coffee cup and a whiskey glass, because you never know. You never
yeah.
know. You might need the coffee cup, and you take the whiskey glass, just pour it in the coffee. Little pick me up before
See,
work.
there you go. So make sure you guys go to Knickknack, go to the store, which is nick-knack.printify.me. Let me go ahead and put that in the chat real quick. Everything will be 50% off. I'm going to go right now and put the sale back on so you guys can see it. I'm going to put the link for tomorrow's show, which is the network, but you can also watch it on YouTube at a Knickknack Production. So make sure you are following me there. So hold on one second. Let me take that off. Sit back. So thank you guys for tuning in to our first official show. We're gonna have to set a date for when we'll have it like weekly, but most likely it'll be me here and hubby on the road. But when we can't be together in the same space, we will be. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys tomorrow on Court of No Appeal.
Later.
So love you guys. Bye. Bye everybody.